Very good morning, everyone. This is George Bayruthi from FS Securities, a stockbroking firm on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. And today I will show you how we went last week and what we expect this coming week. This is actually shows investors and traders how to make money on a stock market, show you what is hot, what is not, and what you should hold and what you should fold. So enjoy the presentation. If you have any feedback, please talk to us and send us some feedback. First of all, we start with the volume. As you can see on the chart, volume has been going up, and on Friday and the 2 days before, we've had 3 beautiful days with majority of advances exceeding declines. So after 2 weeks of the reverse happened, we've seen after 2 weeks of more declines than advances, we've seen for the first time more advances than decline. So was that turnaround in our market? Well, of course, we had some good news about China and the US are likely to actually continue talking. However, on Friday, China said, well, we're not talking to the US until you stop bullying us. So that's an interesting time. Over the last 2 weeks, the Dow was down 178 points, that is 0.7%. And if you combine the week before, 2 weeks in total, the Dow Jones was down 3%. The Nasdaq down 4% over the last 2 weeks, and the S&P 500 almost 3% as well. And the US dollar is gaining little strength, and the Australian dollar certainly is a lot weaker. Over the last 2 weeks, we lost 2.4%. In terms of gold over last week, we've lost $10.80. That is 0.84. And it hasn't done a great deal between the last 2 weeks, so only $11 down. Silver was actually more of a decline, 4.3% over the last 2 weeks. Crude oil was up 2.2% last week. However, over the last 2 weeks, it almost steady. So that's as far as commodities and the US market. On our market, over the last 2 weeks, we were actually down 0.2%. However, last week we had a good week, 1% higher, 67 point higher, and we closed, that's the all ordinary 6460. This is actually the main gauge of our market, 6365 where it closed. 0.9% higher, 54 points higher. Now our market, our gauge is made mainly by the financial and the materials. When both of them are up strongly, the market reacts accordingly. When both are down strongly, the market reacts accordingly. Well, we see here the financial were down nearly 4% last week. However, the materials were up 4.9%. So thanks to BHP, Rio and Fortescue, we've had some good market trend. In terms of the best stock, here we can see that Newcrest Mines had 5.3% higher. We've got Santos, Rio 6.4%, even better than BHP. As I mentioned here, the resources, the material and the resources were very strong last week. The banks, on the other hand, we've got CBA 3.4% down, ANZ 6% down, NAB 7.8% down, and Westpac 6.7% down. So it wasn't a good week for the banks. In terms of energy, 4.3% Santos, Woodside Petroleum 4.1%. Energy was also a good had a good week. Here energy was out 3.8%. Now what do we recommend now? We can see that this is actually our mechanical system where we actually look at the full week, and we, from the results from last week, we try to speculate what is likely to happen this week, this coming week. So after we've had 3 very good weeks in America, we started to see more red and neutral across the three indices, Dow, Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Gold, after being bearish, we've had 1 week, not last week but the week before, we had a push upward and then we've gone back to neutral. Silver is definitely bearish, so if you want to trade any stock market stock in silver, you go bearish. In terms of soy, we can see here that it's influenced by what amount of soy China buys from the United States. The Australian dollar weak, we've seen that the Australian dollar dropping below 70 US cents last week. Euro has gone from bearish, slightly bullish to neutral. This is the Dow. We can see the Dow. This is actually was an important, this is the daily chart here. It actually flirted with the 200-day moving average. This is a very important moving average. It tried to break through it, but there was very strong support. It bounced upward from it. Now if we see the Dow falling below the 200-day moving average, we are entering a bearish momentum, strong bearish momentum, and we can actually go down further. However, if you look at the number of nearly 15 days here, the market was slightly down. If you look at the big picture, the weekly, again, after a huge jump after Christmas, which we recovered most of the losses that we incurred on the Dow before Christmas, and now we're starting to go down further. So let's see what happens in the next week. If we see that there is another bearish week on the Dow, we might be influenced by the Dow, the 200-day moving average, and if it breaks below it, as I mentioned earlier, we are in the bearish market. On our market, we've seen that last week we've had a very good week across all sectors except the financials. So we can see now that there could be a change again today or tomorrow or next week. Let's see what happens. Now this is our XJO. We've actually hit a very strong resistance. That is the level that we met before Christmas, fell down, recovered all of it, and the question is, will it go higher, or that will be the strong resistance that we will see. So our mechanical system, when we did that on Saturday, said that the XJO, we are still bullish and very strongly bullish because of what we've seen last week. Of course, that can change today or in the next few days, right through during the week. Now, Newcrest Mines, interestingly, turn around from bullish, bearish, neutral, and very strongly bullish. Will it continue to be bullish? We'll have to wait and see. Santos strong, the bank bearish, QBE bearish, ANZ bearish. Mind you, they are all slightly bearish, not strongly bearish. TPG, strongly bearish here, has been bearish for quite a while because of the ACCC declining to approve the Vodafone TPG merger. So what we're likely to see this week, okay, let's see what happened as far as our prediction, not last week but before the week started last week on Monday. We've put these forecasts on Saturday the 13th, and that was done on Sunday. So we said we are bullish on ANZ, and we were bullish Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it turned around on Thursday and Friday. We said we are bearish on BHP. That was correct. We actually moved correctly in that trend. We said we are bullish on CBA. We were bullish on Monday and Tuesday, went neutral, bearish. So you can see things can change during the week. We were wrong with CIMIC. We were actually expecting to go bullish. However, on Monday, it turned around bearish, strongly bearish, strongly bearish. Macquarie Bank, we said slightly bearish, strongly bearish. NAB, we said we are bullish. We were bullish Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, turn around on Friday. Where we were right, Wesfarmers, we said we're very strong, and we continue to be very strong. We also said Woolworths, very strong, and we ended up being very strong as well. We said strong with Transurban, and we start to hover during the week. However, we continue to be bullish during the week. TPG, we said we were bearish, and yes, we were bearish right through. So on Friday, the best stock, believe it or not, was Worley. And you look here at Worley, we're very bearish, so could that be turnaround? It could be. BHP, we were actually bearish, and on Friday we had a good day on BHP. Woolworths and Wesfarmers, it continues to be bullish. Telstra, we were actually bullish, started the week neutral, bearish, then we went bullish. Again, if you take attention to the investor, the long-term investor, and if you're an investor and long-term participant in the market, then obviously you take notice of the investor. And if you're very aggressive, then you take care of the very aggressive trade. Okay, so we can see that things can change during the week, and no system will give you 100% results right through. To finish off, this is our disclaimer. We don't know your financial circumstances, so whatever you do, take advice first from your financial advisor or talk to us directly. How to talk to us? Well, these are our details on the screen right now. You can write to me at george@fssecurities.com.au. george@fssecurities.com.au. Have a good week and happy trading.